Hi and welcome back to a tour of the visualizer on the brand new HippoSchool V4. So let's get started, dig straight in, visualizer. The key thing is that in here you can basically map any of your mixes onto objects, and the easiest way to demonstrate that is to go on the top right here where you have a few pre-manufactured items that you can add. This one is a screen. So I've just added a screen, and if you click on the screen you'll see it'll expand out. It's a group, which is the 3D object, and the model, which is just a rectangle, and then you've got a display properties item underneath it. Now in here you get some additional properties, and this is a UV mapped 3D object. So I can basically in here select the source where it gets its UV map from, and I've set the source to be basically the output of the HippoSchool. So now basically when I go to my mixes and I change the media, let's say I go to these crystal balls, then in visualizer I see that there. But it's a bit difficult to jumping backwards and forwards, which is why you can create sub-windows. So if you click on this little icon here, it'll create a sub-window, and now you can have both things open at the same time. And let me move this over a little bit more so you can preview your visualizer output in real time while changing the content. Okay. It obviously best works if you've got two windows, two monitors, so you have the visualizer output on one monitor and your mixers on the other one. So I've just lost my window, so let's close the sub window, go back to the main window. So how do you navigate the 3D scene? First of all, if you use your wheel, you can zoom in and out. If you use control and mouse movement, you can tilt and pan and rotate your 3D viewport. And if you use shift and mouse movement, you can basically dolly left and right. If you get lost, there's a reset camera button here. Control and a bit of mouse wheel action will bring you back to a normal position. So let's explore what else we've got. Let's delete the screen from the menu here. Delete. I can also just hit new and don't save to start off with something new. So the next item along is an LED wall, so it's basically a pixel grid of LED items. Again, you will see it's got its own properties, and here they're slightly different because you can have items such as the number of pixels and also the pixel size. So again, I can use my viewport, and then I can go ahead and change the pixel size. I can also say how transparent my screen wants to be, which is useful as there's some LED screens now which are mounted in such a way that you can have things behind, and this can perfectly simulate it. But how do you simulate more than one stream? Okay, let's just say we have an LED wall and we have a second screen. So let's select the new screen and move it to one side of it, so they're side by side, so then we can see both. Now obviously it's very simple to map both to the same source. It's both to the same mix. But what if I have different mixes? Oh, let's go to the output manager and create a few more mixes. Again, go into configure, select your patch and unpatch it, and add a new mix. Now what I'm doing is I'm not actually assigning every of the mixes to an output, because you don't need to. You can also use them headless, as we call them. Let's go back to the visualizer while it's starting up. And now if I go to my second screen, I've got another screen available. Unfortunately it's showing the same content. So let me quickly fix that. Go to the second output and select a different bit of content to play back. So now we've got different content, which makes it a lot more obvious to see what's going on. So shift and click around a bit. Good. Okay. Let's start another screen, and basically move this one to one side again, and start with a new item, which is a screen, and on it we're going to project. So the projector at the moment is right at the same point as the screen. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to move it backwards somewhat, so I can see it. Where is it? Ah, there's my projector. Move it sideways. Okay, so if I now give the projector again a source, it'll turn from a sort of a round light into a projector. Oh, it's flipping upside down and left to right. Ah, that's better, so I can use the flip image to correct it. Now what I'm having here is I've got a bit too much ambient light, so let's go to the environment. First of all, change the background color, make it a little bit darker, move the ambient light down to a nice dark gray, and also adjust the default light source, which at the moment illuminates everything. So that's a bit nicer, so my screen doesn't catch too much light. My projector is a bit nicer, but I want to play with the intensity of the projector, so basically give it a little bit more punch so it's nice and big. Now obviously if I move my projector now back, the image becomes bigger. Yeah. Great. So you've seen all three types of video displays. You've LED wall, projector, and UV texture display. So let me show how you can map these textures onto existing 3D models, because here you only have very simple basic items. What you probably want to do is use a 3D program to create a more complex scene. For that we have the import model item. So actually let's not import this into this scene, but create a new one. So start with an empty one, import a model, and I've got some here on my desktop. This is a 3D model of a monitor. So the model is made out of different sub-objects. So I'll click on the screen, and now I can turn this screen into a UV mapped object. Again, I've got all my different display types available, so I want this to be a UV display. Then I shall map it to my input. Voila! We have a monitor that displays in real time our mix. Let's move this one to the side a bit. Oh, there we go. And rotate it. And import another one. And do the same with this one. Select the screen, turn it into display, select the display properties, turn it into UV display, and map a source onto it. Let's select the second one. Now with this one the UV map isn't quite right. So what we'll do instead is, instead of using UV mapping, we use planar mapping. Again, flip the image until it's right. Voila, we have a very skinny edged laptop and a monitor next to it. Okay, so what else can you do with it? Well, actually there's boundless possibilities and things you can do. Let me show you an example of a stage that we've mapped, which is the festival stage. It takes a little bit longer to load because this is quite a complex model, So as you can see here, here's a fully mapped model, and you have the two streams mapped onto it. Oh, somebody's forgotten to map this screen down here. Okay, well, let's go to it. Oh, I haven't. So I'll select the video item, the object. I turn it into a display. I select the display properties and UV map the mix onto it. Ah, that's better. So let's go back up. By the way, I haven't explained this yet. If you create a viewpoint that you like, you can snapshot its position, like so. So now you can quick and easily go to different positions of your model. Okay, I'm quite happy with it, but it's still all a bit bright. Let's take the ambient light down so I get a feel for what it would look like when it's dark, and also change the background and the ambient light down. Wow, I'm happy with that. I can get programming. That's the whirlwind tour of the visualizer. If you have more questions, please look online or look at our other tutorials. Thank you and goodbye.